Welcome to this week's video blog. My name is Dr. Joe McCullough, and I'm so excited to welcome you to this week's topic, SMART goals and 5 simple strategies for how to achieve them. Before we jump into SMART goals and the 5 strategies, let me share with you a thought. It's been said that on your deathbed, most people have one of 2 kinds of thoughts. Either, I wish I had, or I'm glad I did. Now personally, I don't want to look back on my life with regret and wish that I had done more or seen more or been more. So I'm taking control of my life and designing exactly the kind of life that I want to live. And if you get good at setting and achieving goals, what you can do in essence is design exactly the kind of life you want to live. So setting and achieving goals is one of the most important, powerful things you can do for your life, not just for you, but for your loved ones. Before we go into the 5 strategies then, let's take a look at exactly what is a SMART goal. Now, if you're on this website watching this blog, you have probably been exposed to SMART goals before and know that SMART is an acronym. The reason you've heard about it is because setting SMART goals is such a useful framework in order to design your goals and make sure that you have the best chance of achieving them. Let's start with the definition of a SMART goal, and then we'll look at 5 simple strategies to help you achieve those goals faster. The acronym SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Let's start with the S and work our way down. S, specific. We want a specific, concrete goal, not a vague goal such as, I want to be happy, or I want to make more money, or I want to be a better student. Now, those are all great goals, but the problem is, if you have a vague goal like I want to be happier, then it's hard for your brain to wrap itself around, I want to be happier. You want to be specific. What exactly does it mean for you to be happier? Or if you want to make more money, great. How much more money? And that goes into the M for measurable. A measurable goal is a goal that has an amount associated with it. It usually asks a question like how much, how often. So if you want to make more money, great. How much more money? Be specific. Make sure you can measure it. So a better goal might be, I want to make $25,000 a year more starting next year. Or if your goal is to be a better student, great, but be specific. Make sure it's measurable. A better goal would be, I want to get A's in all of my classes this coming semester. That way your brain can really wrap itself around whether or not it's achieved its goal. Attainable. Attainable means you actually can achieve your goal. Now, this is a tricky one because we are capable of so much more than we think we are. So oftentimes a goal that seems unattainable, once we actually sit down and start to work on it, you'll find that we are capable of so much more than we give ourselves credit for. So what I highly recommend when you're first setting goals, set a goal that you have maybe a 50-50 chance of achieving. You don't want the goal to be so lofty that your brain just sort of shuts down and thinks there's no way it can accomplish it. On the other hand, you don't want a goal to be so easy that you're not motivated to work towards it. R stands for relevant, and this is a big one. Relevant means the goal has to be relevant to you personally. You cannot be motivated, you won't be motivated to achieve somebody else's goal. This is really important for students. Students oftentimes are working on goals that their parents have set for them. And I see it all the time. They lose motivation because it's not a personal goal. So relevant, you want it to be relevant to you. Really, you want to know your why. Why is this goal important to you? Why is achieving it important to you? And then T stands for time bound. We want to set a deadline on our goals. Oftentimes I've seen goals defined as dreams with deadlines, and it's a really great definition. If you don't have a deadline on your goal, and your goal is, I want to make more money, well, you could spend years and years and years and years working on that. Deadlines create a sense of urgency, and a sense of urgency often spurs us forward. So again, SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. If you want more information, just do a quick Google search for SMART goals, and you'll come up with hundreds of websites. Now that we know how to set SMART goals, or at least how to frame a goal into the SMART framework, now let's look at 5 simple strategies for how to achieve your SMART goals. The very first strategy for achieving SMART goals is an easy one, and it's simply believe you can do it. If you have a big goal, but you don't really believe deep down that you can achieve that goal, you are not going to be motivated to put in the time, the work, and the effort to keep moving forward in the achievement of your goal, especially when the inevitable setbacks happen. If you don't really believe that you can achieve that goal, as soon as you have that first hurdle, it's going to be really easy for you to get unmotivated and actually quit on your goal. So what you want to do before you start any goal is really foster a true belief that you can achieve this goal. Now, everybody has self-doubt. There's a difference between having self-doubt and really believing deep down that you cannot achieve a goal. Do not start a goal that you truly believe that you cannot achieve. So the very first simple strategy is believe that you can do it. Remember, I'll see it when I believe it. I love that quote. A lot of people say, well, I'll believe it when I see it. That's wrong. It's I'll see it when I believe it. If you believe that you're successful, you'll see evidence for your success. If you believe that you can achieve a goal, you will find evidence that'll help you continue to move forward. You'll find evidence of how successful you are. So number 1, believe you can do it.
I don't believe it.
That is why you fail.
Simple strategy number 2 for achieving SMART goals is have an initial plan. Start off with some initial plan of how you're going to work on achieving your goal. Now, you may not know exactly all the steps you need to take, and that's okay. Here's 4 questions that you can ask yourself to help develop some kind of initial plan. 1, what are the first few steps I need to take? Now, you may not know all of the steps, but you probably have a pretty good idea of the first few steps. And if you have no idea at all, then your first step should be doing some research, going online, finding somebody who has achieved what you want, and then modeling them, finding out what they did, and maybe even getting in contact with them. But you want to have some kind of initial plan, have an idea of the first few steps. Second question you can ask yourself is, what do I need to learn? If you have a big goal, chances are you're going to have to learn some kind of new information that you've never known before in order to achieve that goal. Third question you can ask is, who do I know that can help? As Tony Robbins likes to say, success leaves clues. Find somebody that's already achieved what you want to achieve and find out how they did it. Chances are you can find information on the web, but there's all sorts of great YouTube videos, video blogs, things like that can give you some advice on how to go about working towards your goal. And then the last question you can ask, what can I do within the next 24 hours to move me forward? Right? If you have a big goal, do not leave that goal without taking some kind of action. Ideally, as soon as you write down a goal, and that's going to be our third simple strategy, you want to do something to move forward on that goal right away. So simple strategy number 2 is have an initial plan. Simple strategy number 3 for achieving SMART goals is write your goal down and, more importantly, post it where you can see it every single day. I like to recommend either putting my goals on index cards or post-it notes and posting them all around the house. Or what I like to do is I actually create nice 8.5 by 11 Word documents, and then I frame them. And I put one above my office at home, one above my office at school, and one in the bathroom. So I am being exposed to my goals every single day. And the reason this is so effective has to do with a bit of neuroscience. There's a part of the brain called the reticular activating system. And it's the filter that takes all of the thousands and thousands of bits of information we're receiving every single second through our senses, and it only lets a small fraction of that into our conscious mind, into our conscious awareness. Studies suggest less than 1% of all the sensory information we're receiving actually makes it into our awareness. Well, what happens is if you post your goals where you can see them every day and you read them every single day, that's going to start to change that filter, the reticular activating system. And what's going to happen is it's going to start to let information into your awareness that's going to help you move forward towards your goal. If anyone has ever bought a new car before, this is why you start to see that car everywhere. An example is my wife and I bought a new car last summer. I had never really noticed we bought a Honda Civic. I never noticed Honda Civics on the road before, but now everywhere I go, I see them everywhere. Now, they were always there before, but my filter was filtering out that information and not letting into my awareness because it wasn't important to me. Now that I own it, it's more important to me. I'm starting to notice them everywhere. Well, if you every single day read your goals, keep them in your awareness, what's going to happen is over time, that RAS, reticular activating system, that filter is going to shift slightly and it's going to start to let information into your awareness that's going to help you achieve your goal. Suddenly you'll start to notice people and circumstances and places and all kinds of things that you didn't notice before that are going to help you move forward. So simple strategy number 3, write your goals down and more importantly, post them where you're going to see them every single day. I recommend as soon as you wake up in the morning, read over your goals, and right before you go to sleep at night, read over your goals. And then a couple more times in the day would be great, but just making sure that your goals are constantly in your awareness, and that's going to help tweak that reticular activating system that filters out information so you start to see things and people and circumstances that you never saw before that are going to help you move forward. Simple strategy number 4 is take action every single day. What you want to do is develop the habit of taking action. And it doesn't have to be a huge action, but consistent action every single day is going to have a compound effect. And after a month or 2 months or 3 months, you'll be amazed at how much progress you've made. Think about this. Let's say you only spent 10 minutes a day working towards your goals. 10 minutes a day times 365 days a year, that works out to over 60 hours. Imagine how much progress you could make if you spent 60 hours working towards your goal, and that's just 10 minutes a day. If you're really motivated by this big, audacious, hairy goal that you really want to achieve, 10 minutes a day is nothing to ask. Let's say you spent 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day after a year, you're putting in over 180 hours of effort and work towards achieving your goal. And let me tell you, there's hardly a goal out there that can withstand the onslaught of consistent daily action. So simple step number 4, simple strategy number 4 for achieving SMART goals, take action every single day. Develop the habit of consistent daily action. Our final simple strategy for how to achieve SMART goals is get support from others. A couple different ideas you can use. One, I love to have an accountability partner. Somebody who's also working on achieving goals, somebody that you can check in with every single day as an accountability partner and make sure you're both moving forwards and achieving your goal. Second thing I like to do is actually find somebody who's already achieved it and figure out how they did it. As I said before, one of Tony Robbins' quotes that I love is success leaves clues. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel, especially with the amount of knowledge we have now. It's absolutely mind-blowing how much information is available just through your smartphone. So if you have a big goal and you're not sure exactly how to achieve it, find somebody who's already done it, figure out what they did, and then model them. Again, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Get support from others. It could be an accountability partner. It could be a coach or a mentor, but there's no reason to work and struggle by yourself. Find somebody who can help you achieve those goals. Well, that's pretty much it for today, or at least for this week. We've been talking about 5 simple strategies for achieving SMART goals. Next week, I'm going to give you 5 awesome time management tips to help you get the most out of your 86,400 seconds. Until then, My name is Dr. Joe McCullough. Thank you so much for checking out my weekly blog, and I hope to see you next week.
And that's all, folks.